Now we will have panel discussion on tourism and hospitality. May I invite Mr. Chander Baljee, Chairman and MD, Royal Orchids and Regenta Hotels, who will moderate the session. Inviting the panelists to the discussion, Mr. Satyajit Krishnan, Senior Vice President, Operations, South Regional IHCL. Mr. Amit Maini, Senior Area Director, Revenue Strategy, Marriott International. Mr. Ashwinder R. Singh, Vice Chairman and CEO, BCD Group. Mr. Ryan Arana, Head and VP, Brigade Hospitality. Mr. Sanjay Kaushik, Senior Regional Director, Operations, South Asia Radisson Hotel Group. Requesting Mr. Chander Baljee to take the session forward.
Good afternoon, friends. I know a lot of you are not from the tourism industry, but I think everybody has interacted with the tourism industry. Well, this is a hotel, well, it's a restaurant, or it's a resort, or it's airlines, or it's buses, or it's ships. I think everybody has been in touch with hospitality. So I think all of you should, in fact, at the end of the session, we may ask you for suggestions of what to do and what not to do. We prepared a set of questions for this session, but I think a lot of them have been answered by Shruti and Vikram Kota. So I think some of that we will skip today. But one of the things which, being from Bangalore, I came here in 1973. So a lot of change since that time. Bangalore was known to be a pensioners' paradise. Only public sector undertaking was a really private, really industry which was there. It was known for 100 cinema halls. I remember a lot of tourists used to come that this city has got 100 cinema halls. So we must go and see. And very nice cinema halls, I must say. And also, it used to be known for horse racing. In fact, during the racing season, summer, 2.5 months, the hotels used to be packed. Because people used to come from Bombay, Delhi, Chennai, everywhere, and betting, everybody is very fond of betting. So this city was totally packed with that. But when, of course, betting started, well, that business vanished. So now, what is to be done to reinvent Bangalore? Now, we've been talking about sessions, and ultimately nothing really happens. So I would, talking to some of my co-panelists, and says that we must come up with an action plan which we can do. Not depending on the government, not depending long-term bag. So, you see, Singapore and Dubai invented themselves from the shopping festivals. So I've been telling that why don't we have a Bangalore shopping festival from 15 December to 15 January, when the business otherwise is dull, most of the hotels are empty because people have gone on holiday. So to do that, what do we sell? Bangalore got the largest number of microbreweries. Bangalore got a very large number of malls. Then there's Bangalore Hubba, which happens in November. I don't know, why should it happen in November? I've been talking to them. Why not in December 15 to have it that time when tourists will come? So this time also there's plan to have it in November, and I've been talking to them that why don't you shift it? I mean, it costs nothing but to shift it. You can create a really good property of a Bangalore festival. The other thing which, wherever you go, they talk of Bangalore being the worst traffic. I totally disagree. I was in Delhi a few days back. From Gurgaon to Taj Palace at 3:30 in the afternoon. There was a seminar. I had to go there. I reached Taj Palace at 5:30. In my Palpur, you are totally jammed. I was in Bombay the other day from Malabar Hill. They said, no, coastal road is there. You can reach the airport fast and all that. We were totally stuck at the end of coastal road and took about 45 minutes to get out of that jam. So I think it's not all that bad. It's we Bangaloreans have, we corroborate. No. Yeah, we agree Bangalore traffic is bad and all that. Even Shanghai. I've been to Shanghai, I've been to Tokyo, traffic is bad. So we have to live with it. It's not going to be solved because the number of vehicles which are being added every day is not going to happen. So I think that's one thing which I would like you guys to also dwell upon. Let's become brand ambassadors of Bangalore rather than every time putting it down. Oh, government is bad, this is bad, this is bad. It's not all that bad. Then the other question which I raised to the minister. See, all of you have got companies. Now, if you start selling Bangalore, what are the attractions of Bangalore? Somebody's coming for Infosys some work. Why can't he spend 2 days extra? He's coming all the way from America. If he can spend 2 days extra and go to maybe Mysore. Now, Mysore is 2 hours away, right? Go to Hampi, which is 4 hours away. So, let's start working towards that. And so I would say we could promote nearby locations. And see, look at the positives. I think Bangalore has the best airport in the world. I'm sure all of you guys will agree. It's the best airport. I just went to the US, pathetic airports. This is definitely London airport. They talk of Terminal 5, pathetic. So we have the best airport in the world. We have the best weather in the world. Anybody comes here, he says, wow, this is air-conditioned city. So are we able to market that? Then, of course, the feel-good factor. See, I stay in Indiranagar. It was a sleepy old suburb where I moved in. And today is the happening place. You see it's a real big high street mall. Like no other place in the country has it. A real good high street mall. There are 140 restaurants in Indiranagar alone. So I think we got to start seeing positives. Then, of course, one of the other things which has been happening is that because of pandemic, people have said that no, nobody wants to. Yes, everybody was hit. I was the only industry which didn't get any subsidy or any support from the government. So we had no choice except to lay off people, cut salaries. We had no choice, otherwise to close down. So, but now to bring back people into this, everybody is facing a problem. IT companies are facing a problem. People want to work from home. So there's no big deal that people are wanting to come to the hotels. So I think, but we are working toward that, making things, and we are rationalizing. If we have had 10 people doing the job, we make 4 people do the same job. So I think that has also happened today. So, and then of course, suddenly one bright minister in the center comes up with the idea, service charge, all rubbish, you do, stop service charge. So all government officers start all over the place, raiding hotels, you can't charge service charge, you can't do this. I was in America, they have in their bill, they said 20%, 40%, 100% service charge, on that display. So I, of course, being an Indian, I say 20% theek hai. So I put a 20% service charge. So when I was getting up, this fellow waiter is a very high-end restaurant in Miami. He said, sir, you didn't like my service? I said, why? You didn't give any tip? I said, I put 20%. Oh, that is for everybody. But what are you leaving for me? This is the level of service that you get in those countries we revert. Whereas here, if somebody gives you 20% tip, the customers will worship. Okay. So with these words, I would like to put a few questions to my panel. I think I've spoken enough, we've taken more than. How's the industry faring post-pandemic? Would you like to start from there?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for picking me. I think post-pandemic, if I break that down into, and I think it was pretty similar across all cities and all, everyone heard this buzzword called revenge tourism. And there was sudden spike. Everyone was tired sitting at home, and we saw a sudden increase in demand for all our resorts. I think since then, I would probably put in the time period around mid 2022. I think the segment that's working for every city or every part of the country has been evolving with every quarter, with every 6 months. I think revenge tourism is behind us. We have our corporate travel back in full swing. We've already started seeing a slight dip in our resorts in the way they were really doing well, with the most of the destinations around the country ramping up. I would love to pick up from our keynote address, and Vikram touched upon experiential tourism, and I think that's something that everyone's really looking forward to. India's traveling like there's no tomorrow, right? Every part of the country is traveling, and everyone wants to try something that they've never tried before. I think people are a lot more open, and they're looking for experiential stays. The word sustainability has started to mean a lot more to people, and I'm not too sure on how that fits into their personal lives, but at least when they're picking hotels and look at every single survey, you're talking about Expedia, you're talking about Booking.com, PwC, I recently read a number speaking of people choosing the sustainability tick from the time they've had it on their website. And I think that's something that's what we are looking at. And I think every chain is trying to adopt all of these strategies moving forward. And I think that's what's going to be the buzz as we move forward. So I think that's in a nutshell on what we are looking at.
Next is the policy and infrastructure. How effective have the recent government initiatives like Dekho Apna Desh campaign and Wed in India and the extension of the Udan scheme been in boosting domestic tourism?
Thank you, Mr. Baljee. I think the way the government has supported, and in fact, we all have a great support from the government, though many things doesn't come on ground, it takes a lot of time. But Dekho Bharat and Udan, which is important attributes to allow common people to go around the India subcontinent. If you see the last 10 years, 80% of the tourism is from the domestic market. Actually, they are the feeders for us, and and most of them are moving from lower income group to higher income group because of the economic development which is happening, and they are the core market for us. Dekho Bharat, again, going back to the heritage, culture, and now business, also comes into that segment of travelers which is going around in India. Tier 2, Tier 3 are the market which has been fed by these kind of schemes. And Udan, which is actually was focused for the common people who are not earlier traveling through the airlines, and now Tier 2, Tier 3 have all the airports. In fact, the 60% development which happened in last 4 years is in a Tier 2, 3 market, and that is credit we have to give it to the government. I think that's a fantastic, and we as a private players are leveraging. And if you see in a lot of places, the PPP models are coming up to support government initiative and take the leverage of those steps taken by the government. And as the minister also spoke in the morning, that government doesn't take direct initiative. It's a private player who come on the floor to support the government and take the initiative on board. I think it's a great time to be in India and great time for us as a hoteliers and hospitality to leverage from these great initiatives by the government.
Thank you. Now come technology and innovation. Now let me know, what are the latest trends in technology? There's always a talk of either you have too much technology, then you lose the personal touch. And so how much technology to adopt? But of course, technology is an enabler. It can make you provide service, guest recognition, guest experiences in the past, and what you anticipate to get. So if that is one area which you can start with.
You're asking a question on technology to a revenue strategy leader. I can go on for the rest of the session, but I think there's been a huge shift. I think everyone's moving digital. I think that's the first step. I know as basic as it sounds, But when you look at portfolio, at least at the Marriott International, we, within South Asia, still haven't breached the 50% mark when it comes to online bookings. So we are still those traditional offline bookers in most parts of the country. And I think the first step is towards moving that to, across the 50% mark. And speaking of technology when it comes to distribution, when we are talking about decision making at the hotels, I think we've come a far way. Most of our chains today are equipped with enough and more data. I think there is more data than one can analyze. I think that's a good step towards it. I don't think we still have even breached the surface of using AI in our daily operations. I think it's huge. Today we just use it as something that gives us information, using it as an enabler to do our job better, but there is still a lot of human involvement over there. So I think moving forward, there'll be a lot more involvement from AI, from data analytics, from big data that can help us, head to the future. But I think there is at the very fundamental level, I think there's a lot to do when it comes to technology, and we just breaching the surface right now, if I would say that. And maybe my colleagues can add here over from the operations end, but I think there's a lot of technology that's happening on when it comes to data and booking, the distribution channels.
Yeah. Now you move on to skills development. As I mentioned earlier, and everybody's been crying that we are not getting people. So what do we really do about it? And maybe you can tell us.
So still, I think the way things are moving, and especially post-pandemic, where and the hospitality and the hotels were the most hit, because we are reflective industry. When every industry goes well, we follow and we get benefit of that growth. Similarly, in the pandemic, when everything goes wrong, we were the first one to get hit and the last to come out. I think that was the reason when most of the people who are aspiring to come in hotel industry resisted, and we really have a crunch on the skill set. Even the people from the hotel industry, if you see retail and moving to hospitals, they're parallel industry where a lot of hoteliers have moved on, real estate. So skill is a big challenge, and I think that's a time when we use the word inclusive. It's not only diversity in gender, it's not diversity in LGBTQ, but also diversity of bringing people from different industry set. A lot of fresh graduates from management colleges who never did hotels are coming. And recently in Radisson Hotel Group, we have picked up a lot of talents from non-industry. And I think that is where we are also cross-pollinating the skill sets of execution. And we also have, depending on a lot of IHMs, a lot of colleges and Oberoi School of Learning, Taj, I think they are doing great work. Even the Radisson brand has tied up with few international colleges where that skill set is happening. But by the time they complete, they are not in the industry. They move out. So I think a lot of work has to be done inside the hotel companies, where we take care of them. We develop certain programs for them, so they stick them, and we give love, care, affection, and a succession planning for them. I think that is succession planning, growth, opportunity for the talent within the systems is the biggest enabler for holding the talent inside the system, and that's the way it goes.
Do you think the today's generation is ready to wait for 5 years to become general managers? Most of the people I find come, "Arey, 2 साल में मेरे को general manager बनाओगे तो I stay back."
No, I'm talking about people who are from completely different industries like FMCG, banks, or even, and nothing to do with hospitality. Yeah. So we're putting them on a crack program where they learn the industry, they learn about how the hotels work, and then they become general managers.
How are you handling? I mean, this question to everybody. See, today the youngsters want to work 5 days a week. Hotel industries are used to 6 days a week, sometimes even 7 days. 12 hours a day is like a norm. And so how are you tackling that? Because a lot of people are today saying that no, we don't want to work in this industry because we get 2 days off. It's a great thing. And here Mr. Narayan Murthy says that you work 70 hours in a week. And then they are saying that hotel industry pays very poorly. I think our entry level is about 25,000 rupees plus the tips and all that. And the other day there was a big hue and cry about one company, and a big IT company here, who's paying about 2.5 lakhs per annum. And for guys who are technically trained, you know.
If
And
I
here
can-
the guy is just, maybe he's a 10th class fail or so, and he's been given an opportunity to come up in life. It's a second chance he's getting. And in 3 months you'll train him. We have a skill development program in which we take guys who 10th class fail because he has no other options available to him. And we take him, give him training for 3 months, and then he's put on to waiter or front office or anything like that. So I would say that, how you tackling that aspiration of 5 days, the growing demand is going to get worse. Because as you go further, more and more people will ask for 5 days and limited hours, and then our cost will go up. How are you going to handle that?
Mr. Baljee, if I can answer that. So, we have a portfolio of 9 hotels and we work with 3 operators. So, I've seen this shift of, especially post-pandemic, of how we've been perceived as an industry. And I think pre-pandemic, we were always perceived as a low-paying industry, like you rightly said, with long working hours. And I think during the pandemic, we got an even worse rap because we were ruthless, I think, in the way the industry overall treated people. I'm not mincing words here. And I think we have a great responsibility now to bring back that attractiveness. And it's great to hear what Satyajit said about what IHCL is doing with attracting talent. And I think there's much to be done there. Making sure we look attractive as an employer by being responsible in the areas that we're seen as lacking in. Better wages, which I think a lot of operators have put that forward, and owners of hotels have decided to take that cost, and I think it's at a great result. Manpower overall, in some cases, has been reduced, and people are more cross-functional, which has greatly benefited the industry overall, because people get paid more, and at the same time, there's no compromise on work. I think we should have incentivization for people, for youth especially, who enter the hospitality sector, because we, again, the attractiveness has to be there. Maybe tax incentivization for youth who enter our industry. So these are different ways that we'll have to step up, make it more attractive. Sustainability is a big way to show that we're a responsible employer, and I think it's also our responsibility to make sure that we tell our people that in no way, going back to technology and AI, are they going to be replaced in that front. Some jobs are irreplaceable, right? And the whole forefront of hospitality is that we're a very guest-centric and contact-centric industry. I'll give you an example. I traveled extensively in my last role, and I regret the day that I put orange juice as a preference at one of the hotels I stayed at. That went across every system that they had, and I was given orange juice for 2 years. Every time I checked into a hotel, I don't drink orange juice now. So it's horrifying what tech can do. It can go really bad, or it can really help you out, and we need to figure out where it can help and it can't. Yeah, so we need to work together, I think, as industry leaders to make sure that we look attractive. And this forum, for example, it's a success story sharing forum, right? Something like this. We need to have more of these as well. Showcase success stories, and maybe with that we can inspire more and more people to join our industry. Thank you.
I think we must feel very proud that our country's image across the world has changed. I would say thanks to the IT industry in our city, particularly, because when you go today, when you go to the immigration counter, you looked up upon, otherwise looked down upon. So I think that has changed. But also, we should have a sense of nationalism. Like, for example, Modi, when he had a problem with Maldives, he immediately announced that we should, promote an alternate destination, Andamans, Lakshadweep, or whatever it is there. Yeah, it can't be developed overnight. But the question is that the visitors to Maldives dropped 50%, right? And when I wrote to Vistara, I said, why can't you cancel your flights to Maldives? I mean, we should all be nationalists. That, okay, if somebody gives a slap on your face, I mean, you don't take it back, you give him a punch. So we have to work towards that. And nationalism, very important. And being proud, like, for example, I'm talking about it's the beginning, being proud of what we have in Bangalore. Why do we always have to look at negatives? I think it's a fantastic city. We can promote it. And I will appeal to my co-panelists also that I'll be talking about this, having this Bangalore festival, which doesn't cost very much. If you all are keen on it, we have a WhatsApp group. If somebody else wants to join in, please join it. And if you can make it happen, that will be something which will be great for all of us in the industry. Now I'd like to throw the floor open for any questions. Please. Please announce your name and your organization. No. Better you.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for sharing all this wonderful insight. I'm not from the industry, but it's really fascinating to see what you guys are working on. I have two questions. First is with the Viksit Bharat bringing the world to India's door. We are boosting the economy, but how do we make sure it doesn't come at the cost of ecology? I'm talking about places like Venice, which today, because of over-tourism, the locals are facing a lot of difficult issues. So one thing is how are we preparing so that we don't repeat what we have seen happening in the rest of the world? That's one question to the panel. The second question is, we see today a lot of technology integration in the sense of little robotic machines following around where, instead of one person trying to clear out from housekeeping on his little wrist, if, those things can be put so that, it's easy to clear out. I mean, Bangalore is a place. I was in Taj, Bengaluru over the weekend meeting somebody there. In Bangalore, it takes 45 minutes for me to go from home to office, but it takes me 15 minutes for Swiggy to deliver something to my house. That's we are in that mindset. And it took us 45 minutes just to get an order in that day versus, we have so much of technology. We have, like you said, backend is integrated. They served you orange juice for 2 years. But to get one order across, it took us 45 minutes. And if there was some way you could, and today Indians are not, we have leapfrogged in terms of our patience. We have become so impatient thanks to things like Swiggy and knowing exactly where my order is. So how is the hospitality industry coping up with the Indian mindset of, I want something now is now, through this, with all the changes happening around us?
It's a very, very difficult thing. Where I have an argument with my staff in room service. If they have to deliver something, they say 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I said, look, if somebody orders from Zomato, from somewhere else is delivering to your door in 20 minutes. Why the hell you want? But it's a standard mindset. We got to change that. It is very difficult to change it, but I think we should have an app within the hotel so that you can. Why it should take 30 minutes? I remember going to one hotel. I won't name it, next to our office in Delhi. When I used to go there, and they have a buffet laid out, but I don't want to have a buffet. So I asked them, no, look here, I want to have a club sandwich. 30 minutes, sir? So I said, okay, call the chef here. I'm also a little bit aggressive kind of a fellow. I said, call the chef here. No, okay, sir, we'll bring it fast. So the mindset also, we are also facing this problem, but we have to change the mindset of our people, right? So we're all working towards it. Thank you very much. I think we are coming to the end of the session. I will appeal to all of you that at least as far as brand Bangalore is concerned, please promote it. Do not fall for prey to that negative publicity, traffic. Where there were some floods in 2 years back in Epsilon. I have a house here, unfortunately, but my house didn't get flooded. So that means whole place didn't get. But there was such a lot of publicity. Now, you know, if you see Baroda, I was talking to the owners of our Baroda hotel. There are 45 crocodiles roaming around the city right now. So the whole city is flooded. He said, you know, the owners say that basement has got flooded. So, you know, we all are educated young people in Bangalore. Let us say something positive about our city. Okay? Each of you have visitors coming in. Encourage them to enjoy the city, go to the nearby destinations which are very close by, and that is how tourism will develop. Because the number of visitors, you see, we don't have a separate track of how many million visitors are coming for business or how many are coming actually for. Why can't we convert the business people coming into, even if 10% can get converted into actual tourists also, it'll be great. So that's what my appeal to you is. Thank you very much for patient listening.
May I request Mr. Rabindra Srikantan on the dais to present a token of gratitude to Mr. Chander Baljee